Hi there. I guess we're on. And welcome to another week of Kids in the Kitchen. And this is brought to you by the South Texas Literacy Coalition. We want to be able to give you some ideas as you're home with your children. And you have been home with them for some time now, and it looks like it's going to continue. And we've been talking about that every Friday. So I want to welcome you to the show and tell you a little bit about what we're going to be doing. Lotta McDermott, our one of our board members, is on with me today, and we both have snack recipes. Hi, Lotta. How are you doing?
Morning. I'm doing awesome. How about you, Dr. Ida?
Doing great, doing great. So we're going to share some recipes with you. Now, the very first time that we were on, we talked about nutrient dense. Nutrient dense is when you have a food that is rich in nutrients, has some calories, but it's not like um, a soda or a piece of candy or a chip that has, air, air for some of the chips that have air, I think. And you eat them and you eat a lot of calories, but you don't get any nutrition out of them. So the two snacks that we're going to talk about today have that. Want to give a big shout out to some of our sponsors. HEB is one of our partners, and so we give a shout out to them because they're a great partner. We get most of our groceries there, and so I had to make a run to HEB this morning, so I'll tell you about it in a minute. And so we want to give a shout out to them and also to the Molina Foundation. The Molina Foundation is separate from the Molina Health Organization, but separate but connected in by family. And so want to give a shout out to them because they have gifted us with some books that we'll be distributing in the next few months all over South Texas. And so we want to thank them for that. It's a little logistic, almost a nightmare to try to get everything done, but we're going to do that. So we want to make sure that everyone is safe. Remember, we've talked about washing your hands a gazillion times a day, wearing your mask, okay, and social distancing, and stay home. And so hopefully you'll get inspired today to make some healthy snacks. If you've been binge watching, I caught myself binge watching on last Saturday. Just a series of shows. And so I was like, I have been sitting here. I was doing something on my computer, but I'd been sitting there for like 3 hours watching this series of things, and it continues and continues. So, I needed some healthy snacks. So we want to say hi to Rosalba Ruiz and Rosario Garza. Rosario is listed on Facebook as a top fan. So good for you, Rosario.
Awesome.
And Melba Garza is there, and Juan Ovalle. And so thank y'all for being on our loyal group, and make sure that you share this information. So I'm going to start off, and today we're going to do a recipe from the Disney Princess Cookbook, and this is called Sweet Potato Coins. And this is, they put it in the cookbook in relation to the story of Aladdin, Jasmine and Aladdin and so on. And it is a very healthy snack. I had never tried them before. It's not quite a chip. It's a snack, and they're called sweet potato coins, and I'm going to show you how to make those right now. Now, first of all, a little science lesson, okay? Is it a sweet potato or is it a yam? Well, on doing some research, I found that the sweet potatoes are the ones that have the orange color, okay? And they have a thin, smoother skin. And they are from, let me see, they're from the morning glory family. And sweet potatoes and yams, believe it or not, are not potatoes at all. They're not tubers. They grow off a vine. And so the yams are actually different. And they have more of a bark looking peel, and they're a little bit thicker. They're white. Some of them the skin is white. Some of them are purple. So we normally will grow and use sweet potatoes, okay? But how did the word yam come about? Well, it is what it is. Back in the Civil War days, I did a little research. Um, the the boats that were coming in with slaves, and like I say, it is what it is. It's not a good thing, but it's history. That's the way it happened. Brought in lots of plants and lots of fruits and vegetables and things, and they started growing some things, in the South. And so the sweet potato or the yam that was grown over there was called, and I hope I don't murder the pronunciation, Nyami, which in African means to eat. So to distinguish, the sellers that were selling these wanted to distinguish the sweet potatoes from the yams. They called them yams, okay? Even though Nyami means to eat. So they just wanted to say, do you want the orange ones or the white ones? Instead of saying that, we'll call these sweet potatoes, we'll call these yams. So isn't that interesting? You can do more research on that. But anyway, they look like this. They're very, very, very rich in vitamin A. Vitamin A is important for your skin, for your eyesight, for the enzyme function of your digestive system. It keeps you healthy. It's an antioxidant. It protects your body against things like cancer and free radicals and that kind of thing. And I think the first time that we talked about vitamins and stuff, I told you that the greener the vegetable, or the more orange the vegetable or fruit, the more vitamin A it had. And so lots of vitamin A in that. Okay, so we're going to talk about, this is like a super easy recipe. I have started peeling my sweet potato. Okay, and so you can do it with a knife, and what you do is you cut off either end, and that way this gives you a flat surface to be able to cut if you don't have a potato slicer. But I'm going to finish doing this one, and you don't have to do the whole peeling. And it is okay to eat the peeling because it is rich in fiber, okay? So we do this and get it all peeled. And then we're going to cut these now. I decided to try this out beforehand, and I made some mistakes, okay? I cut them too thin. And I was thinking in my mind I was doing chips like this, but that's too thin. Okay, the recipe actually says to cut them about 1/4 of an inch. And so if your kids are doing this, you're going to have to help them with this. But I took a chef's knife and I just sliced these about 1/4 of an inch. And they're so beautiful. Now, this is a type of snack that you can eat with hummus. You can eat them by themselves. You can eat them with ranch dressing. It's very, very easy to do. And the recipe says that once you take this, you can cut it out with a cookie cutter. Yeah, right. They are tough. And I said, well, it looks like a coin anyway. Why am I going to cut them perfect circles? And I didn't want to waste, because I did a few of them and I had all this waste and I didn't want to waste any. And I thought, nah, eat the whole thing. So we're going to cut these up. And when you get to the end, you hold it this way. And I found that the chef knife works very, very well. So there's our sweet potatoes, and I have some in a bowl, okay? I'm going to move these over to the side. Do a little bit at a time. So we're going to take a little bit of olive oil, and I'm using extra virgin olive oil. Olive oil is digests very well. It's a good fat for your body and helps you to raise the good cholesterol in your body, okay? So you drizzle a little bit of that over that. Take a spoon. And I'm going to tell you how I modified this a little bit. Because you can do this, or necessity is the mother of invention, right? You take your cookie sheet and you line it with foil, okay? Not parchment paper, but foil. And the reason is that we don't want the oil to be seeped into the parchment paper. So what I did the second time I did this is I poured a little olive oil here and I spread it around. And then I took my sweet potato rounds and I, just rubbed them in here like this. And that saved me from having to wash another dish. Anything that's easy, right? So I'm going to use these now that I did show you how the recipe says to do it. And you put them in here. You should preheat your oven at 400 degrees. And make sure that it's hot. They're going to cook now. The recipe says 10 to 12 minutes. I found that my oven could do it in 7 to 8. So, try it out. Just watch them. Once you make these once, they're so easy and they're so delicious. I know you're going to want to have some on hand. Now, I did put mine in the refrigerator to, overnight, and they did okay. But you can crisp them up if you want to in the 400 degree oven for about 3 to 5 minutes, and that's it. So we're going to continue to fill this up. And again, this is a very, very healthy snack. I bought 4 sweet potatoes for like $4, so they're $1 a piece. So out of 1 sweet potato, I was able to get like 14 slices. So 14 into $1. I don't have my calculator with me, but that's less than 10 cents a chip, okay? And it's very nutrient dense. In other words, every time you put one of these in your mouth, you're putting vitamin A and all kinds of good stuff instead of just air. So now, the next thing we do is we salt them up if you want. You can put salt and pepper. You can put cinnamon. You can put, I wouldn't put a little sugar because they're very sweet, okay? But this is meant to be a savory snack, okay? So we put these in the oven. And after the 8 minutes, you turn them. Turn them and let them brown on the bottom side again. And I just pulled these out of the oven. And so here we are. They're very delicious. They're smooth. They're savory. They're filling, okay? And rich in vitamin A. So make a batch or 2 or 3. You can actually, I think I had a bag somewhere here. Maybe it's in my, yeah. You can actually slice them up and keep them in your refrigerator already. So do the hard part, peeling and all and cutting and all that stuff. Put it in a Ziploc, have it ready. This will last maybe 5 days in your refrigerator. Probably not as long, more time in mine than in yours, because once you taste these, you're going to say, man, let's just do that instead of chips, okay? So that is our sweet potato coins from the Disney Princess Cookbook from the story of Aladdin and Jasmine. So hope you enjoy them. And so now Laura's going to share with us a super easy snack that's full of energy as well. Right, Laura?
I sure am. And gosh, I sure like that recipe. And I have found that they sell sweet potato fries everywhere now. And they even offer them at all the burger places. Yeah. But they're expensive. So making your own is a great.
And these are baked, baked and not fried. And so that's even healthier for you. And so this plate will be gone before you know it. Just put it there in the middle as you're binge watching your movies or doing whatever, or just put it out, lay it out on the table and have the kids come by and pick up a few. It's just a nutritious, and it's filling too. Okay, it's filling. You don't, when you eat sugary stuff, 15 minutes later you're on a down and you need some more. So this is not that way. It's filling and it's nutritious for you as well. So let's show us your recipe.
Okay, well, speaking of filling, this little snack that I have today is very filling and it's very dense. And so it's going to provide lots of energy for you. And the recipe calls for 2 cups of old-fashioned oats and 1 1/3 cup of toasted coconut and a cup of either creamy peanut butter or almond butter. And whatever you have at home and whatever your children prefer would be just fine. 1 cup of ground flaxseed. And I'll remind you that flaxseed is very heart healthy and it's good for you. And when I purchased it, actually, it was not ground. And I went ahead and just placed it in my mini food processor and it'll chop it up real fine for you. It's almost gives that little nutty flavor. And I also have a cup of chocolate chips. And I've added some pepitas to mine because I had some pepitas in the cabinet. So I added 2 tablespoons of pepitas. You could use chia seed or anything else that you may have. And then 2 tablespoons of vanilla. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with this. And I've got a bowl here and I'm going to combine all my ingredients. The great thing about peanut butter or almond butter is that it provides us with plenty of protein, and that's what gives us that feeling of being full. Your 2 cups of oatmeal, and I am using toasted coconut, and it's got a really nice flavor to it if you've never had it. And if you don't have toasted coconut, you can also make your own in the oven just by baking it and letting it dry out a color. And if you can't see that color, it's a golden color. So it's a beautiful color and it gives lots of richness and crunchiness. I'm going to add the 1 cup of flaxseed. And I have a cup of chocolate chips. And I may have failed to mention, I do have 2/3 cup of honey here.
Okay.
2/3 cup of honey. And
one interesting fact about honey, I found out the other day that it has an antiseptic value to it. In the old days, they used to, if you had a cut or whatever, they used to put a little bit of honey on there, and it would kill the bacteria. It doesn't, it's just sweet, but it's the essence of the ingredients in that are natural. That doesn't mean it's got to be good for us too. So.
And it's a natural sugar.
Absolutely.
And I am using the Hill Country, which again, I try to use all the H-E-B products. They always are so high in quality. And to that, I'm adding 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. So this is a time that your kids might want to help, and it will take a lot of stirring because you want to make sure all the ingredients are well combined. So your kids might.
I want to say hi to Melissa Loftus. Thank you for being on again. And Vanessa Martinez, she says she loves sweet potatoes. Well, this is a great recipe for you. And Rosario Garza said we recently found the book on Amazon for less than $7. It has arrived just in time for today's live. And the kids are so excited. Awesome. That's awesome. And Dr. Dalia Guerra says, great snack. Thank you, Dr. Ida. You're very welcome. And so, we're just trying to get you, I've been watching, as I work on my computer, I watch TV. And I've been watching, there's a commercial on, and I'm not going to say brands or whatever, but they say, oh, we were not going to have to cook anymore because everything comes all ready for us. And it's all measured out or it's already prepared. Okay. Well, you have to pay for the preparation, the time of the person who did it. You have to pay for the ingredients. You have to pay for the shipping. And I get that if you're very, very busy, but we needed to get down to basics. We need to understand how to fend for ourselves, how to be self-sufficient, how to understand more than just boiling water, and why we need to eat the kinds of foods that we need to eat. And it's not that hard. It is a science, okay? It is a science. And sometimes you have flops and things don't work out. Like I told you, I decided I was going to do these little teeny tiny things, and that didn't work out. And I thought, I don't want to fry them. I want to have a substantial snack. So think about that, and this is why we're doing these kinds of things. So stirring, hey, consider it semi-aerobic, okay? And give everybody a chance. Give everybody 10 turns at stirring, and then it'll all get done.
Yes. Well, once you've got it all mixed up, it's going to have a very shiny and glossy appearance to it. And that's because of that, of the honey that you've added. So make sure it's very well combined. And at this point, you're going to cover it with some form of cellophane and place it in the refrigerator just so it starts taking some form and starts to become firm. So I've taken a little batch here that I made yesterday, and I'm going to share with you the way I make this. The actual recipe asks you to make balls, but I actually prefer not to be mixing it. And if you've got a number of children in the kitchen, you really don't want all of them rolling it through their hands. So I'm pretty lucky in that I do have a small a scoop here, and I'm able to use that. And what I'm going to do is I've got a little piece of wax paper, and I'm going to press it into shape so I don't have to touch it. And that helps all the ingredients combine. And I've got a sheet of wax paper here, and I'm going to just lay these little lumps over on my wax paper. And here we have some small little mounds here. They are nutritious. They are about 131 calories a piece, 18 grams of carbs, about 4 grams of protein. So they are very nutritious, and they are a dense food. They do have lots of fiber and really good for you. So you're going to continue to make these. And what I've done is I've placed them on little, once I've got them into shape, I've placed them on little cupcake papers so that we don't have to touch them again, and they aren't touched by too many people. So here's my finish.
Those are no bake, right?
These are no bake. That's correct.
Awesome.
And once you've got them ready, you can go ahead and place all of these into a plastic or Tupperware type of container. Lay them all on the bottom and place them back in your refrigerator, and they'll last a week or more. So I have laid these little lumps of goodness into my plastic container, placed a paper in between and stacked them up, and they refrigerate beautifully. And so that is my nutritious snack for today. And we keep talking about these recipes that we're sharing, and we're so excited to share them with you. But I know that you have your own recipes. So you as parents, I want to encourage you to get your kids in the kitchen with you and share with them these recipes. Have them view what you're doing, have them write down the recipe. And my tip for today is going to be to have your kids get a little notebook at home and a pen and start writing all the things that are taking place in the kitchen. They can make their own little cookbook. This is part of journaling. This is part of literacy. And research shows that children lose so much of their education in the summer if they do not have some form of interaction with reading and writing. So get them involved, have them start their little cookbook. And the other thing is you're preparing them. How sad it would be if anything happened to you during this pandemic, or if you got ill or sick and your kids couldn't survive in the kitchen. So this is a way for them to start journaling, for them to be able to cook if anything happens to you or someone in your home. They can help you. These are all life skills. So get your kids writing and jotting down and starting their own recipe book. What a great way to help kids.
And all of our recipes, as we said, not only require reading, sometimes they require writing. If you want to copy onto the recipe the changes that I suggested. And then also, remember I told you, it involves math, because on my sweet potato coins, you had to cut them 1/4 of an inch. And then you can count how many came from one. And you can count that if this cost me $1, how much is each one of those snacks? And so basically 5 of these is a serving. And they provide you with a day's amount of vitamin A. And that's amazing. 5,000 international units is what we need. And so keep your skin healthy. It's mosquito season. Okay, and I guarantee you, if you can keep your skin healthy, they won't bother you, or the bites won't be as bad if you have a healthy skin, healthy hair, healthy nails, good eyesight. All of that is important in health literacy, and then we incorporate literacy in everything that we do. So, James Fisher came on and he said great ideas, and Rosalba said, could you please write the name of the book? Okay. I'll have Valeria do that, or I'll send it to you. It's called The Disney Princess Cookbook. Okay. It is a book from the Disney Press. The retail value is $15.99, but as we said, one of our viewers said they got it on Amazon for less than $7. So, you know, you can do that. And I wish we had these in our inventory, but we don't. I just happened to get this, and I bought one for my granddaughter, and I got one for myself because I wanted to see the recipes in here. So, and all of the recipes have to do with different ones of the stories. Here's the cozy cottage tenders that we made last week, and so they're all in here. And I decided just to use this book as a way to get everybody, you know, excited about what we were doing with kids in the kitchen. So have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Be safe. Please be safe. If you don't need to go out, go get your groceries that you need for these recipes. Come back, take your time, do a snack weekend. And these are all healthy snacks, as we said. Drink plenty of water. We want you to stay very, very hydrated. And wear your mask when you go out, and social distance, you know, wherever you are, as best you can when you're out and about. And wash your hands a million times. Remember, the kitchen and the bathroom are the two, you know, dangerous places in our kitchen. So we want to keep everything sanitized. If you don't have sanitizer, and you know, I have had trouble finding the little sanitizer wipes. So I'm using alcohol and paper towels. And so I have a little sprayer with my alcohol, and I keep refilling it. Okay. And paper towels, and I wipe down my counters, and I wipe down, you know, places that we eat, my telephone, my computer, you know, keyboard, that kind of thing. Don't spray the spray on your keyboard. Spray it on the cloth, and then wipe down. And do that for everything, because, you know, alcohol is strong, but it works just as well. So, Laura, any last words?
No, I just want to encourage you to have fun in the kitchen and do some things. It does get quite boring being indoors. So besides the recipes that we have given to you, go on the internet and have your kids look up some fun new recipes that they might want to try in the kitchen. And the other thing is, if you do not have a little scooper like I do, you can use a measuring cup. A small measuring cup will just do the same job. And you might have something else at home that'll work, but that way your family isn't handling all of these with their hands. So enjoy, have fun, and do something fun with your kids.
Right. We'll see you next week. And be sure and check our Facebook page. Be sure and share this with as many people as you can, because we want to get the information out there. And we are going to be developing a strategy to support school systems, school districts, and different organizations with educational programming, not only in health literacy, but in general literacy, financial literacy, and so on. So stay tuned, because we'll have some more activities coming on, and we're here to help you. So if you have any questions, let us know, and get one of the little notebooks, you know.
Okay. Our little cookbook with your kids so they can start copying your recipes.
Absolutely. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Bye.